and I'm going to listen to, it looks like you submitted an independent speaking practice test number 186. And guess what, my friend? For my students this month, they got 27 points on the speaking section of the TOEFL iBT. So, I'm saying this to motivate you, to let you know that your practice will help you. And it has helped other students in this online TOEFL course. Now, one thing I want to share with you. I tried out some things this month and the last month that I hadn't ordinarily done. I pushed my students to practice a lot of pronunciation. In fact, I don't even normally do this, but I allowed my students to post pronunciation practice at my VoxyPop discussion group. Ordinarily, I make students pay an additional $400 to be able to do that. But I gave them that extra pronunciation practice. And guess what? All these students were right around 23, 24 points out of 30. And it was that pronunciation practice, I believe. I think my theory is pretty good here. That is what put them over the top. That's how they got their 27 on the speaking. Because most of these students, they already were able to communicate fairly fluently. They could organize and develop and explain ideas, but they had very heavy non-native speaker accents. So they were able to reduce their accent, they spoke more clearly, they improved their pronunciation and also their pacing, and then they got the 27 points. So this is information for you. Now, what does that mean? That means if you're doing some pronunciation practice and you want to get some feedback, you can post it at the VoxyPop discussion group. Just make sure that the recording that you post isn't more than 60 seconds, but I will also give you some feedback in that area if you want. Now, if you want a lot of feedback with speaking, you do have to pay the additional $400, and then you can post up to 3 minutes or 3 practice tests daily, and I will give you feedback on all of those things on a day-to-day basis. All right, so let's take a look at 186, and let's see how you answered this question. Okay, so it says, which resource should a city spend more money on, making sure that the air is clean or ensuring that the drinking water is free of contaminants? Give reasons and examples to support your choice. That's a hard one. Clean air or clean water? Heck, they're both important, right? But if you have to choose, what would you choose?
I think they should spend more money ensuring that the drinking water is free of contaminants because our body needs it mostly, and the food we consume also needs water. First of all,
okay, our body is what? I got to check your delivery here.
I think they should spend more money ensuring that the drinking water is free of contaminants because our body needs it mostly, and the food we consume also needs water.
A little bit of trouble in the beginning there. I was having some trouble understanding those 2 points.
First of all, our body consists mostly of water, so depending on which quality of water, it depends on our health. In fact, drinking bad water would mean that we will be sick. In addition, the food we consume should be cleaned by water, and some products like soups need it too. Overall, because of that, I think that a city should spend more money ensuring that drinking water is free of contaminants.
Okay, so you answer the question, but just as I suspect, with this response, you're having quite a few delivery issues. In fact, some of these issues, specifically not clearly pronouncing certain words, it made it difficult to understand some of your ideas. So that's kind of the key. So let me take a look at the rubrics here. So I'm going to have to put you in the 2 range on this one, I think mainly because of delivery issues. All right, so let's take a look here quickly. All right, so so I'm going to put you at about 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30. If you look at the rubrics, it says, although your speech is basically understandable, listener effort is needed because of unclear articulation, awkward intonation, or choppy, fragmented, telegraphic, and I don't think you had problems with that, but you had unclear pronunciation maybe, and some frequent pauses and hesitations, right? So that, in my opinion, is kind of holding the score down a little bit. Okay, let's keep going here. So we just did independent speaking practice test number 186. So let's go to the next one here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for RK or Ravender, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. If you've been at my YouTube channel recently, you know I have had 4 students this month reach 27 points on the speaking section. And what did they do differently than what you're doing? Nothing. They posted practice tests every day. They followed my recommendations. They reviewed the lessons. They worked hard. And they made their scores. Now, one thing that I've been doing a little bit differently over the last couple of months, I just said this to another student, is I'm letting you guys post some pronunciation practice at my Voxy Pop group too. And I think that's probably what is holding back a lot of my students. Because I had them focus a little bit more on pronunciation, and then these 4 students were able to get past a 23 or 24 point threshold that they had. And they did much better. Alright, so keep that in mind. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 6.
If I have to choose between living on campus in dormitories and living off campus in apartments, I would like to choose living on campus in dormitories because I can save a lot of time and money.
Good, there. So you're restating the question, you're making your choice, you're including 2 support points. I like it. So now you have to go on and develop those ideas. Now remember the word time, the T consonant sound, you're not pronouncing that with enough air. So I'm going to give you an assignment. I want you to go to the pronunciation area of my course. Here's a lesson. I'd like you to do a little bit of practice there and then come back and post some of that practice for me. So I want to evaluate how you are pronouncing your vowel, the consonant T. Okay, so where is it? Let me go back here. I'll tell you what lesson it is here in just a minute. Okay, here it is. It's Speak Clearly lesson number 23. So what I'd like you to do is, in that lesson, right in the beginning, excuse me, it has some pairs of words like tip, dip. Record yourself reading those words out loud, and then record yourself doing some of the sentences, the sentence practice exercises, and I'll give you some feedback with the T and the D consonant sound. All right? Remember, delivery. I focus a little bit more on delivery with some of my other students, and that's exactly what helped them get to 27 on the speaking. I'm not kidding you. All right? Okay, let's keep going.
First of all, living on campus will allow me to save a lot of time so that I can give the time for my studies, and there are more chances of getting good scores in your studies. Second of all, when I'm staying in campus, I can save a lot of money, which I would have spent in traveling if I stay off campus, and
which I would have spent if I had stayed off campus. So use the past perfect tense there.
Buying gas for my vehicle. So by staying on campus, I can save a lot of money and time.
Okay, so I think overall you have a pretty good response. You organized, I think, your ideas in a good way. You had some appropriate supporting details. You had some minor delivery issues. You had pretty good control of your language use. So I think it's close. I'm going to put you at about 23 to 24 points out of 30. So some of the delivery issues, I think if you spend a lot of time in that area, I think that's going to be very useful for your speaking. All right? Second, I'll be right there. You can come in, but just give me a second. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Ben Chen, and I am Michael, and I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 6.
The reading passage discusses the risk of nuclear energy, and the listening passage mentions another risk of nuclear energy.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is that lecture and reading passage about nuclear energy and about the Chernobyl explosion. So far, your introduction's pretty good.
First of all,
I like how you vary your intonation. You're definitely not speaking in the same tone, so you sound fairly natural. That's good. That's going to help you get higher points on the TOEFL.
According to a reading passage, the technology of producing nuclear energy could be used to produce weapon-grade uranium. And the International Atomic Energy Agency just couldn't detect all the possible diversions of the nuclear material. Second of all, according to the listening, another risk of...
I like how you're using the word second of all. So now you're adding to what you've already said. So your transition words are helping to show a clear connection of ideas.
Nuclear energy is the risk of accidents. For example, in 1986, the Chernobyl power plant exploded in Ukraine. As a result, many people died or got cancer. Also, it was very costly economically in Soviet Union's history.
Okay. All right. Wow. Boy, that was tough. That is a difficult practice test. You had a very good organization. You were able to explain the most important points of the reading passage in the lecture. You did so, I think, in a very natural sounding manner. So you have very good delivery. I didn't notice any problems with grammar or vocabulary use. And you also had a very good topic development on this. You better sit down. I think this is the best one you've done so far. I think it's entirely possible you could get a score of 4 on this. I'm going to put you at least 26 points out of 30 on this practice test. So Ben Chan, can you do that during the TOEFL exam? If you can do that, you will be able to score high. So very nicely done on your part.